take place between K-Mac and the winner of this match.
This match, which by the way is about to start.
All right, so get your guesses in chat. Who's going to win this one? Because you're going to have all bets will be off in a few moments here, and it looks like we are underway.
Yeah, I mean, my brain says BT, but I know Steven's going to have the support in the chat. He's between being the underdog role and his fan base is ravenous. I get a feeling we're going to see a lot of Go Stevens in chat here.
So as our runners scroll over to level 3, one of the many glitches you can read about at redcandle.us, we'll be seeing our runners try to pick up a bomb, but with Steven having a little trouble with the scrolls and BT first into 3.
Yeah, pretty much everybody in the world is going to look to be slightly off when being compared against BT when it comes to those frame-perfect sub-pixel movements.
Yeah, very, very tricky to make those screen scrolls look as easy as breastickle is able to make them as he heads into the Darknet chamber. Very clean kill, but unfortunately does not get the bomb, and Steven does.
Oh, the race is over at this point, right? That's it. I mean, we can close this up and go home.
Oh man, it's way too early for that as Steven heads into the next factor of red Darknets, if you will. Red Darknets take 4 hits with the wooden sword, but only 1 bomb blast. And Steven looks like he's building his count up, so we'll see if that allows him to force a bomb here.
Yeah, he's trying to be very judicious with his bomb placement here.
Meanwhile, breastickle gets terrible bomb luck and does not get a candy bomb, has to force one, and then drops a bomb right before the raft and gets 2 bombs. So, easy game.
Yep. So BT, the first one to pick up the raft, at a less than stellar PB attempt time of about 1:40, but he is out of there with a rupee and 8 bombs. Steven does have the ability to refill his bombs if he so chooses.
Yeah, maybe that was a second bomb that was forced before chat corrects me. But anyways, so the runners are going to be looking to get as many rupees as they can whilst maintaining their bomb counts. They'd like to get 30 rupees or so by the end of level 1 that will allow them to purchase the blue candle if they decide to run the world record route, although there are many routes that they can run in this game.
Oh, and we got BT up against Manhandla here. He goes down, he picks up the bombs, and, well, that was a very interesting choice on Breasticle's part there.
Interesting. Breastickle skips the heart container after he takes down Manhandla. Steven into Troll Handler now.
That's kind of unfortunate.
Hand left.
He's going to have to go back in there to get that picked up, but maybe he's going to do it later.
Both runners skipping the heart container at Manhandla. Now, I don't want to read too much into this early, Liquid, because we see the strategy in Rando. But considering that heart containers are an important part of the early game here, are you smelling what I'm getting at?
You know, I don't want to read into anything because we don't have the book, but you know, we might just be seeing how low one can go.
Oh man, this could get interesting, folks. We'll have to wait and see if it's confirmed. Now, keep in mind, if that is indeed what these runners are doing, that is perfectly legal in tournament rules. It'll make it interesting because if they are indeed running low percent, the actual optimized low percent route, it does involve many up and A's, and there is an interesting death rule in this tournament as well. So,
yeah, and you know, obviously we're a very friendly and somewhat tight-knit community, but you could always, you know, make the gentleman's agreement, and then the other guy has no recourse of action if you don't follow it. That's all I'm saying.
That is true, although I will say the shames would be in chat at full force, I'm fairly sure. And there was a little talk about a gentleman's pact. I didn't know for sure if they were going to do it. So this is actually pretty cool if that is indeed what we're seeing. Either that or they just both forgot a heart container.
Yeah, that, you know, obviously seems somewhat unlikely, but These guys, I know when they got matched up in Swiss, they did kind of joke about this, and then it was pointed out to them that their average finish times would matter for the purposes of seeding in the brackets.
And our restreamer puts up a tag, shouts out to Feasel and Speed Gaming. Yes, this is low percent. That's awesome. So, there is a little bit of a difference between what you may or may not have seen in this tournament. And before I go into that too much, just want to touch on BT's health situation here. It's not looking very good, Liquid.
It is not, and this is not one of those dungeons where there's very little difference between 2 and 3 hearts and 1 heart. Especially in this Gleeok fight, a lot of one heart damage potential coming up.
BT entering the Gleeok fight with only 1 heart. This could be a big tipping point in this race, folks. Yep. Every one of those fireballs does a full heart of damage. He's going to have to dance around this Gleeok carefully. Yeah,
and you saw Steven picking up 2 packs of bombs in that room with the virus. Bombs are now going to become even more crucial than they ever were before.
BT with the clutch Gleeok kill, and I thought Steven was going to pick up the heart container there. I'm not going to lie.
In my head, I saw Steven walk to the right and pick up the heart just because I've seen it, thousands of times at this point.
Oh, man. So, low percent and any percent do have a few differences. The biggest major one is the heart containers or lack thereof, as well as the lack of a sword upgrade, since the sword upgrades, obviously, A, you need heart containers for, and B, this is low percent. You can beat the game with the wooden sword. For the most part, though, the other items that we collect in a normal any percent no Up+A run will still hold true. You still need the raft, you still need the ladder, you still need the bow, arrows, and silver arrows. You still need a version of the candle, but in low percent, that would be the blue candle. Potions are illegal, and you cannot pick up the any key. You cannot pick up either of the rings, either of the boomerangs, or wand, book. What am I forgetting?
You can get the meat, because you have to.
No big shield.
Yeah.
There's something else I'm forgetting.
Bomb upgrades.
Sure. Yes, bomb upgrades. Thank you.
Yeah. Basically, the bare minimum of what is required to complete the game is what you're allowed to have. And usually, I don't know if they were doing this just to keep it a secret for the rest of us. Usually, you will see guys play, since you aren't getting any upgrades at any point in time, in low percent PB attempts. A lot of times, you'll see them run the more difficult dungeons early. Like, they'll do 2 to get some bombs, and then they'll go straight to 8.
Well, I do know in low percent, a lot of the times you'll see runners tackle level 8 early, but I think in a race scenario, that would be a foolish decision. And the reason I say that is, well, it doesn't really make a difference if you do it early or late. You'll have the same amount of hearts, you'll have the same amount of sword, and you'll not be able to route your bombs as efficiently. I think the reason you see that in PB attempts is that it's an easy reset point. Oh, I died in 8. Okay, I reset.
Yeah. And just look at this. They had identical counts there. I believe... Yeah, and doing the very difficult move. The only way you can avoid picking up the heart there is to have a bomb and get behind Aquamentus. These guys are going to leave 1 with identical counts here.
And neither runner picks up the heart, so no possible shenanigans afoot here as Steven gets out of level 1, maybe about 15 seconds behind breastickle. Both with, as you said, Liquid, identical counts, so they're both in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, we're just a couple of rupees away from being able to pick up the candle, and we have our first route divergence.
Interesting choice here. Steven going south. It looks like he'll be headed to probably level 2, I'm guessing?
He's walking in a different direction from it. Is he getting...
Intriguing.
He's gonna get the 30 secret here and then the candle and force
he's
a
going
bomb at it. Oh. Yeah. Getting the candle ASAP while BT goes to level 2.
I think he's going to 8. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense. And I mean, he can't go to 7 because he doesn't have the recorder. That's my guess. I think he's going to 8, Liquid.
Oh man, I love this game, James.
Oh, this is going to get exciting. See, the thing is, with low percent level 8, this race, you know how we say this all the time in any percent no Up+A. The race is not over. Oh, it's Zelda 1, and that is very much true. I know from first-hand experience in my race against Random Effect a few days ago, but in low percent, oh, this race is not over till you cross the flames. It doesn't matter how big your lead is.
Yeah, it's barely over at that point, but yeah, it is never over up until then. We're talking 3 hearts all the way through level 9, 16 hits on Ganon, basically without getting touched. Just so many places where it can go wrong.
Very nice and clean level 2 from breastickle. Nicely done.
Well, Steven has now walked past level 8. He's gonna go purchase the arrows. Okay.
Now, I have to admit, Liquid, I'm not nearly as familiar with low percent as I am with the other categories of this game. I've never actually attempted a low percent run. I don't know which is the more optimal route. So, I mean, I'm kind of playing a guessing game along with, I'm sure, some of the people in chat.
Yeah. I feel like I can't speak ill of either player's decision at this point. The only low percent attempts I've ever had are ones where I died before I got into level 2.
Yeah, my low percent runs all ended when I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna pick up the heart. I'm done with this category. Alright, so Steven enters 8 before breastickle. Now breasticle's already completed level 2. Ooh, that bomb hits 4 dark nuts, and he forces a bomb.
Yeah, fighting level 8 in low percent becomes just a completely different animal. I can remember about the time I started watching people play Zelda, you know, as a pastime, was about the time that I think Lack and Unos were both on a low percent kick at that time, and so I got used to this excruciating, horrible, terrible level 8, and then all of a sudden I saw people clearing all these dark nuts with 2 sword swings.
Well, Steven gets a nice, sweet, merciful fairy there as he gets through Blue Lagoon #1, but breastickle is flying, Liquid. Keep in mind, he's already done level 2, and he just passed Steven here in 8. Oh, but he's down to half a heart.
Yeah, these blue dark nuts doing 2 hearts of damage is very debilitating when you've only got 3.
And he's down to 2 bombs, and a blue dark nut bop here will kill him. Welcome to low percent, folks.
Yeah. At this point, you think he considers leaving the room to at least register his kills that he's made?
It would be the smart decision. You see Steven here clearing this room out. This will ensure that these enemies are dead after he leaves here. Oh, BT's got to be careful, and he has no bombs to use here. Liquid, I'm on the edge of my seat already.
He gets a heart that at least makes his stream sound a little less annoying, but it doesn't protect him anymore from these dark nuts.
It will give him a little bit of fireball insurance here as Steven enters Blue Lagoon 2, has 5 bombs, and is clearing this room at a much quicker rate than BT, and he still has bombs remaining, as well as beam swords. Let's see if he decides to... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, beams are basically cheating at this. When you watch someone do it without beams versus someone with, it can really make a fool of somebody who doesn't, compared to someone who's being able to attack these dark nuts from a distance. Technically, BT out first, though.
BT with the clutch Blue Lagoon 2, and gets through, as does Steven. Steven in a little bit better shape than BT as far as health and bombs.
Yeah, and Yeah, so BT's probably going to clear this room, I would think, to get bombs, so Steven will take a little bit of a lead and head towards perhaps the most difficult fight of this entire run.
Now, in any percent no Up+A, you have the magic sword. This fight is almost a joke compared to the level for Gleeok. In low percent, this is harder than Ganon.
Yeah, no question. Takes what, 28 hits?
Yeah, so I'll give you a question as Steven takes on Gleeok with full health at this point. Over and under 2.5 deaths between the two runners.
2.5. I am going to just at Gleeok or in the Blue Lagoon 2 after they have to go through it a second time.
Let's call it from this point forward.
I will take the over.
Ooh, Steven is in good shape, sorta. He bombs the wall to the left. I'm not sure if he was trying for a Gleeok bomb there. He's almost got this fight cleared as BT enters with full health. And he avoids that fireball. Oh, but he doesn't avoid that one. And down goes Steven.
I was about to feel shameful for taking the over. Now, Steven, yeah, he may have to reconsider for a minute. And,
well, I mean, the thing is with low percent, it does appear that he's going to buy bombs. Meanwhile, BT finishes Gleeok off, and this is a huge advantage at this point for BT, I think.
It is currently a huge advantage for him. Obviously, if the next snafu is one that catches him and doesn't catch Steven, we're right back at square one. But yeah, clearing level 8 in low percent, and then getting an embarrassment of bombs on the way out like he just did, huge for him, as Steven burns a key to play a little defense in this room.
Now, the thing about low percent level 8 is, unlike some of the levels in this game, including level 9, when you clear enemies, ooh, good bomb to start this room off by Steven, but he's in a bit of trouble!
They got trapped, yeah. It was he almost got them to group up too well.
The thing about level 8, none of these rooms stay dead. Like, at least in 9 or in 6, those rooms, a lot of them stay dead when you clear them. Level 8 does not. Every one of these rooms respawns.
So, we're seeing what? So we need one more death in level 8 for me to claim my 50 million rupee prize, right?
At least, I'll give you that one. The JSR Bank of Hyrule is not responsible for paying out any of the novelty bets made on this channel.
Get Lloyd's of London on the phone to ensure that one.
So, breastickle headed over to level 5 now. Now, BT in a commanding position at the moment, already have completing level 2 and level 8. And into level 5 now, low percent, you have to clear this Darknut room. Pretty much any percent strats at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I would say, especially if BT knows the lead that he has, maybe it's time to take a page out of recent damageless runner Redbird Grad's book and block clip into the middle of the recorder room and just swing for your life.
Hey, in any percent, anything goes. Or excuse me, in low percent, anything goes. And down to. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just clinching up over here on Steven.
Steven and BT both fighting Darknuts with bombs at this point. BT down to half a heart. He does have to be careful, but he's having a good room of requirement so far.
Yeah, and when I said that about clipping in, I forgot that at that point, Redbird Grad in his damageless runs has Magic Sword fighting these guys. So obviously BT taking a much better path to clearing out this room. Doing it in one try, leaving with 5 bombs.
Well, BT doing a very nice job so far. That was a clean room of requirement. Only took 1 hit. Able to survive it. He has the breadstick.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Steven clearing some enemies out, I assume, to get bombs? Or is this a key drop? I cannot recall, because honestly, I haven't cleared this room in years.
I think there is a key in this one. I've seen someone clear it in the last day, and I don't quite remember. So.
Steven going to attempt Blue Lagoon number 2 for the second time as breastickle heads to the second half of level 5. On Beep Strats, every enemy, except for the boss, from this point forward, does 2 Red Dark Nuts, excuse me, do 2 hearts of damage. So any bop will take him down. Meanwhile, Steven also down to just a single heart remaining. He's going to have to be extra careful.
Yeah, this Blue Lagoon 2 is really... I mean, obviously Gleeok is a run killer in level 8 for low percent, but this room pretty much stops everyone before they get to that point.
Steven could really use one of those sweet merciful fairies now. And he gets one!
Oh! The commentator's blessing.
Alright, he's not out of the woods yet, but this might get him at least to a rematch with Gleeok. BT, meanwhile, getting some bombs and a key off the Gibdos, he'll be headed into the Dig Dogger fight with an embarrassment of bombs.
Yeah, and he will probably... Well, I don't know. I don't want to say what BT's going to do anymore at this point.
Now, Steven just trying to get through this room, and a nice double bomb Dig Dogger by breastickle, and BT is just annihilating this low percent run, Liquid. I mean, he's just really playing well.
Yeah, he has done a fantastic job up to this point, and really... And he avoided one of the sneakier heart containers of the entire run there in level 5, hanging out near the door.
Steven using interesting strats here as he's trying to get these bombs that we saw breastickle get earlier, utilizing the bubble to get through some of these tricky pins that these enemies are putting him into. Using the iframes that the bubbles allow can kind of get you through, and he gets a lucky bomb drop off that Red Dark Nut, and he's going to leave those 2 enemies. So if he has the unfortunate misfortune, grammar notwithstanding, of falling to Gleeok in round 2, then at least he has only 2 enemies to clear there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, BT getting his bait and arrows purchased, filling up the tackle box as he heads towards level 7.
Steven was just a few hits away from taking Gleeok down in round 1. Let's see if round 2 fares any better for him. BT down to only half a heart, and if he dies in the overworld, he's got to return immediately. He's not even going to chance it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're walking towards level 7 and you need a heart refill, seems like a good a way as any to get it.
Steven utilizing the pause strats. Thank you, Crystal Saver. And using them quite well. He's done really well up to this point, and he really needs to finish this fight off right here.
Come on, I've never wanted to lose a bet so much. Come on, Steven.
Only 3 more hits, I believe. 2 more hits will take down the mighty boss. He could probably just go ahead and tank it. He goes for the Gleeok bomb, misses it. Goes for it again, and he gets it!
Oh, man! Maximum swaximum.
And Steven is out of level 8, and despite the lead that BT has, he's still got some tricky levels coming up. And level 7, folks, is no joke in low percent with the wooden sword. Let me tell you, And you'll see it right here. Heart drops are going to be your friend.
Yeah. You've never been so happy to fight these blue gorillas being in the heart group as you were anywhere else. And yeah, like you said, he does have a lead, but really, any low percent run that's made it through 8 is officially a run that can happen. So now that both of them are through 8, BT's lead is not nearly what it was before, as he takes a nanner to the side of the face, spins around and falls down. We are starting level 7 over again.
Yeah, the gorillas have OP boomerangs. They're actually a little stronger than Link's own. And again, level 7 is an absurdly tricky dungeon in low percent because every one of those banana bops is a full heart of damage. You've only got 3 to gamble away here.
Yep, and it gets him again. But he does make it through the room. This next room here is probably my least favorite in this. But BT manages to slide through there. Just the Keith, the Bubble, and the Gria all being on that tiny little island oftentimes leads to getting double and sometimes triple bopped. Just not a fun time for anybody.
As BT down to only 1 heart, Steven taking on Troll Dongo. To answer a question in chat, yes, actually, the bait is actually bait for the enemies. A person in our community by the name of Fiskbit, who's done a lot to help us discover little things about Zelda, and BT falls to another gorilla. Fiskbit actually made a ROM hack that allows you to see where the enemy's target on the screen. And long story short, when you put the bait down, the enemies target the bait and nothing else. It's a lot different than what they typically target. It's pretty neat to see, actually.
Yeah, I'd never seen it from that perspective. I do remember playing this game as a kid. That's the only thing I thought the bait did, was attract enemies away from you. And for that reason, I couldn't finish level 7 for the longest time.
So now the BT's fallen twice in level 7. Steven only has to get through 5. If BT takes another death in 7 and Steven is capable of having a clean level 5, I mean, that's what makes this race so exciting, Liquid, is that it does not matter who's in the lead. This race could turn on a dime. Yeah,
it already has a couple times as BT falls again. He got caught up in the that dark Chevy room again, and fell faster than General Motors did in 2008.
Oh man, level 7 proving to be a difficult roadblock here for BT, and we still have levels 6 and 9, I believe. Am I missing one? I'm confused by the order here. Yeah, they just have 6 and 9 left, right?
Yeah, I think most people run 7, 6, 9 as their final 3 in low percent, so that sounds right.
So, I mean, 6 is not a joke either in low percent. And then, of course, level 9. So, I mean, the best part of this run is upon us, folks. As we see BT on his 4th attempt through 7. Make sure you follow both our runners tonight, breastickle and 4iSteveN, who've given us a very entertaining race this evening and pretty much throughout the tournament. They've just been great to watch, Liquid.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, honestly, everybody in this tournament's been a treat, but these guys, perhaps chief among them.
BT does reach the Dig Dogger fight. If he can take him down, he will not respawn. It would be a nice boon. Does get no health drops at all from that Dig Dogger, which is actually pretty uncommon. Into the reverse C he goes with only 1 heart remaining.
Yeah, and he only has 5 rupees too, so he can't really play the fire arrows at Will game either.
Hey, Will did nothing wrong, okay? Nicely done. He takes him down with that very unfavorable bubble spawn. And then, of course, the bubbles come over just to say, you know what? I'll get my last licks in. I know I don't do any damage, but I'm going to bop you. Oh, that bomb from Steven, man. He has just been having excellent bombs throughout this entire run, and he takes out 3 Dark Nuts with 2 bombs. That was amazing.
Ooh. BT, watch the way he's navigating there, gets through that room, and he is finally done with level 7.
Nicely done for BT. It took a few tries, but he maintains his lead as he finishes level 7 here at 29:46. With only level 6 and 9 to go, it is still a pretty large lead because Steven now has to get through the back half of 5 and then has to do his own trek through level 7.
Yep, and so we just saw BT leave level 7, which is kind of like a dull, aching pain, and he's heading now into level 6, which is more like getting stabbed in the side. Not quite the marathon that level 7 is in terms of avoiding damage and navigating rooms, but man, every room in level 6 can make you pay.
And speaking of paying, Steven takes a Gibdo hug, pays 2 hearts of damage, and he does what I would have considered the smart move and commits suicide, so he'll get a fresh set of hearts to go through the back half of 5 here, as long as he returns to that room, which, well, he has to.
Yep. Up. And rules satisfied. He's back in that room. I was
a little worried that he would be able to somehow get through that.
Hey, if we find a wrong warp past half of level 5, then we've got bigger things on our plate than making a rules decision on this race.
Exactly. BT having a good start to 6, but as he enters Magical Breakfast Room number 1, this is where the fun begins. Blue Wiz Robes, Wed Riz Robes, yes, I did that on purpose, and the likes, all with a glorious bubble, and he really could use that fairy that just disappeared. Yeah, meanwhile, Steven was able to smoke 2 Dodongos, got a full complement of bombs. If he can get through 5, he'll be leaving with 8 bombs.
That's great. I mean, I imagine he'll use at least 1 on Dig Dogger here, but BT having cleared that first Magical Breakfast Room now, with the bubble being in that room, that means even when he takes a death right here, he won't have to clear that room again. That's huge compared to what you had to do, what we saw in level 8.
Yeah, I would imagine level 8 next to level 9 being the most penalizing death to take in low percent, as Steven decides not to use the double bomb technique, then changes his mind, and he's going to use arrows and takes down Dig Dogger. Nicely done, and I swear I was going to say, why didn't he pick up the heart? I forgot.
Lest we forget, these guys are doing this out of their own free will to themselves.
See, this is why I couldn't run this category, Liquid. I would be so excited and I would grab the stupid heart. I'm telling you, I've seen people do that.
I've seen it. I know that it's a thing that people much better at this game than I have fallen victim to, seeing that heart sitting there and just walking right smack into it.
BT on his second trek through 6 still has to get through Magical Breakfast Room number 2, the last remaining major roadblock in this level 6, although these Blue Wiz Robes are not playing very nice, and he gets through.
Yeah, he worked hard for that key.
Steven, a level 7 and half of a level 6 behind BT, and he gets kind of the same bad luck lever pattern that BT got earlier, although only pays 1 heart of damage here, so we'll see if he decides to pay a visit to the Fairy Fountain as well. BT into Magical Breakfast Room 2.
I forgot how him walking into this room made me remember just how much of a pain this room is. Of course, if you get bomb drops for free like that, I guess it can help.
Oh, BT got a bomb drop, tried to utilize the bombs that he had in his stock to take out the Blue Wiz Robes, mistimed his blast, and very nicely done. He was in a lot more trouble than he appeared to be, folks. Being stuck in that like, you have to time that kill just right, or that Blue Wiz Robe would just be on you before you even knew what happened. And yeah, that would have been an instant death.
Wow. Leaving here, pretty much, I feel like leaving any room in level 6 with more than 0 bombs is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Oh, and chat pointing out I missed it because I was watching BT's Magical Breakfast Room 2. Steven bought the arrows again.
Well, I mean, creature of habit, I guess. I mean, you walk up there, you think about meeting your arrows before going to level 7.
Well, unfortunately, buying the arrows twice does not turn them into the silver arrows, so...
And what a shame that is. Really, I mean, this is like lower percent now for Steven because he had to spend 80 extra rupees.
Right, Steven enters the gauntlet that is level 7, utilizing pause strats to get through this first room of Blue Gurias, as BT's through level 6, folks. He's headed to 9, I believe.
I mean, he's got the full Triforce of Wisdom at this point. Let's see those rock strats come into play here.
BT's manipulation of the rock strats recently discussed in Discord. Let's see if he attempts it here. Headed to 9, 3 hearts, 6 bombs. Oh, it didn't work. Unfortunately, he gets his world rocked.
Oh, me. I'm not convinced yet that that strat does anything other than perhaps lower your chance of getting hit from 50% to 49%. But I'm sure eventually someone in this community will figure out a way to make it through where you never get hit by the rocks, and that'll be a wonderful day.
I've got a strat. I do. I'll get back to you guys about that. As BT heads into 9, already with the full complement of keys that he needs to complete the game. Only 4 bombs. Does he take down Patra 1 or not, Liquid?
You almost have to, don't you? Unless either that or build a count up on the wizard on the old man. I guess if he finds a way to get through the Patra, he takes it. If not, we'll watch him fight the Eternal Patra.
And that's yeah. I mean, considering this is low percent and that the odds of dying here are pretty great, having that Patra out of the way at least makes subsequent trips through 9 a lot less of a headache as he heads into the Patra 1 chamber. Let's see what he does.
I mean, he's certainly not going to try the clip. I would say, you know, well, he had a chance to get through there, and he opted not to go for it. Meanwhile, Steven did not get the perfect bomb on those on that dig dogger, but manages to take it down with arrows, of which he has plenty.
I'll tell you what, BT did an amazing job with this Patra. With the wooden sword and no insurance left on his life meter, takes him down without a death and leaves the floor bombs for later.
Oh,
that
God.
was very impressive.
I mean, wow. He just paid for his bill and never got his food is basically what just happened.
It's a good insurance policy for sure, considering that he's going to get a candy bomb. It might have been a force bomb, actually.
Yeah, he took down he did some hits on the old man that lead me to believe he was working a count. How he knew what his count was after fighting Patra for a minute and a half, I'll never know.
Yeah, very well done by BT. He's got that bombs on the floor sitting there. Ooh, gets a bad spawn here. He's got to have to be careful. Gets another forced bomb. Very well done.
Wow. Those blue Wizrobes just walked over to where he was dropping the bomb on the red one and got a little bonus hit on him.
Now down to 1 Wizrobe left in this room. If he does take a death, that will be the only adversary left in his next trip. Only a few hits left and he takes him down. Part 1 of this 9 behind BT for now. Yeah, I like that qualifier. For now. Unfortunately, that room will respawn if he has to come back. So Steven, meanwhile, headed to level 6 here. And 6 is a relatively fast dungeon compared to 9. If BT doesn't die, this race is all but his. But if he happens to take a death, I mean, this is low percent. This could get a little insane here.
Yeah, especially with the performance that Steven put on in level 7. I mean, up to level 7, BT was having a low percent race run for the ages, and then Steven kind of showed him up in 7.
BT opting to take down Patra 2, which, if he's successful, is a very smart play here. But now Patra giving him a little bit of trouble. Still no damage yet, and he's going to start the fight over.
Yeah, I mean, optimally, I think fighting Patra 2 is the way to go here, just for the purpose of the chances that there are that you're going to have to come back through this room a couple more times.
All right. Well, here's an interesting thought, Liquid. He's heading into reverse C, but his spawns are going to be different. And he's not even going to toy with it. I believe this is the smart play.
Yeah. At this point, it might even be the only play, because, I mean, you get stuck on a row with the red Wizrobe, there's nothing you can do. You're done.
And again, with only 5 bombs remaining, he does have that floor bomb at Patra 1 if he does take a death here. He just has to get to that middle of that reverse C. He's got a few bombs to play with here. Drops 1. Oh, this is making me nervous, Liquid!
Yeah. Having to just sit there in the middle because he got bubbled is the worst.
Oh my goodness! I couldn't run this category. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it.
The blue Wizrobes being a bro, helping out their red buddy.
Unfortunately, no clock drop for BT. Now, he does have the blue Wizrobes nice and gathered in that north area. Well, I take that back. Oh, what a dodge! Wow!
I thought that was curtains.
And he gets a sweet, merciful fairy. His beams are back.
Yeah. Step away from the Wizrobes, BT.
Steven in the magical breakfast room, too, down to only 1 heart remaining. Anything in this room touches him, he is a goner. Both runners in critical parts of their run. BT needs this to stay in the driver's seat, and he gets it. What a reverse C for breastickle.
A prime example of when someone says, in order to go fast, you gotta go slow.
Steven, meanwhile, doing the smart strats here. He exits the room. The buyer's dead because he bombed them. Now he only has 1 blue Wizrobe to deal with. And if he plays this the right way, BT down to only half a heart. Steven's only going to have to deal with the like here. So, nice play here.
So, if BT had died before he got through there, had died in the room after reverse C, he'd have had to go back through there and clip through Patra again, wouldn't he? So it's huge that he got through there, even though, he took a death there, but at least he doesn't have to go back up to that portion of the dungeon again.
Now, the good news for BT, yeah, like you said, he doesn't have to return. The bad news is I believe he was setting up for Hippo Fairy there, and this is going to cost him a little bit of time. Steven's going to be in 9 before BT finishes at this rate.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Steven's, probably a minute away from entering level 9 at this point, so.
Well, the only monkey wrench in Steven's plans is that bomb number. He's only got 1 bomb. That's not even enough to get into the meat and potatoes of 9 here. So he's going to need at least 1 bomb drop before he's able to get into 9. Let's see if he decides to force it or if he's going to go for the candy bombs here.
Option 3 would be, he's got more than 20 rupees.
And you called it, Liquid. He's going to 4. I believe he's going to go scroll over and buy a pack.
Meanwhile, BT picking up that extra pack of 4 that he left with Patra earlier. And gets a bomb drop on the first one.
Oh, no!
He didn't get it!
Oh, no! That's huge! He had a bomb. He forced a bomb off the orange Wizrobes and used his last bomb, which would have allowed him to refill his bombs to max capacity, but he does not pick it up. and he loses the bomb drop as well as another death.
It's been said in chat, we got a race.
Steven, about 45 seconds or so from entering level 9 is BT back into the like room. The major advantage here is BT already has the silvers, and you see him using them for combat here. He's only got 12 rupees, so he doesn't have a tremendous arsenal of silver arrows to his name.
Yeah, that's true, and each one of them, though, just so valuable. For 4 HP damage, it's like having magical sword for everything except for the one thing you really want them for.
4iSteveN now entering level 9. Now he's got to do the entire dungeon, and he only has 2 keys, so he'll have to clear this room to pick up this key. We see this in the any % run. So another required room of combat for 4iSteveN. Does a very nice job of getting through it. What appears like will be damageless, and gets his required key, as BT has a much better time of it in the next room this time around. Yeah.
Last second dodge there.
That whiz rope gave him what the community likes to call an FU beam. That quick shot 360 no scope beam that you a lot of the time aren't ready for. And like we said at the beginning of this race, BT's got those reflexes and that movement that not very many runners in this community have. I mean, short of maybe Lack Attack or Unos, Cantaloupe Me, Darkwing, those are like the top tier runners. BT's right up there, if not the best in the world. He's right up there with those guys.
Yeah. I for my money, BT on any single movement, if I needed one clip or one scroll to save the world, I might be calling him.
Ooh, Steven does fall to Patcher 1, and unfortunately, we'll have to start that fight over again, but he kind of had a rough go of it getting to that point. As BT gets past Patcher 2.
Whew, that's a huge step. Unfortunately, Patcher 2 is not dead, so he'll come back full strength if we have to go back.
But getting through with beams, if he can get to the trap room and clear the trap room, that is a major hurdle in low %.
No kidding.
He does a good job, and he does the smart play,
Oh, yeah.
leaves the room. Only one Wizrobe left for him to deal with. If he's able to clear this Wizrobe, unless he decides to leave level 9, this room will stay cleared. Only a few hits left, and he takes him down with beam swords.
Woo. BT playing with our hearts here.
Steven and Patcher 1 get a second round. Patcher 1 being a jerk. Steven has to leave the room, and all this spawn, and BT can't get through.
He was going for nothing, and then all of a sudden, he had nothing.
That room is one of the most difficult rooms in this entire game to not take damage. I would love to see how Redbird Grad did that in his recent damageless run, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to that room with 2 hearts and left with 1.
I'm assuming, I watched several of his runs get to that point last night and before. Lots of pausing and understanding that you may have to kill some enemies that you'd rather not fight.
Steven finally decides, the heck with Patcher 1, I need to make some progress here. And if he's watching the restream, he knows he's in trouble.
He was trying to build a count on the old man, and he got hit by the fireball as he was leaving the room.
Yeah, that old man said, not today! You're gonna stab me 9 times in the chest.
High five by the runners. However, still, BT with having the... having so many more rooms cleared out and having the silver arrows still has a pretty significant advantage.
And we have simulated sync, as they both are gonna stab the old man at the same time.
One for bombs, one for fairy, maybe?
I think Steven going for the sweet, merciful fairy, and it spawns. Can he get it? He gets it!
Oh! The last second reach.
BT just a few hits away from getting through this room. One of the few combat-heavy rooms in 9 that will respawn no matter what once you get through it. And again in the driver's seat goes Breastickle. Patra 2 is still alive for Breastickle. This is not over yet, folks. If he can get through Patra 2 with at least 1 heart remaining, then he's in good shape. But that's the thing. Can he get through Patra 2? Patra 2 playing goalie very well. And as a Vegas Golden Knights fan, I know all about goalies doing a good job. As BT trying to take out this Patra. Patra being a bit of a jerk, and he can't get through.
Oh, man. I've been campaigning for Pecorine to win the Vezina Trophy all year. Give it to Patra, too. That's the best keeper in the league.
Now, I believe he did not kill Patra 2 again. He does get through with full health. Steven forces a bomb there on the Zols. Nicely done. And it looks like he's trying to set up for a fairy. Now, this room is already cleared for BT. If he can get through this time, then he's in good shape. Here we go. This room, this tricky room with the horrible spawns. Can he get through?
Much better that time.
He bombs the wall. He's through with beam swords.
Whew. Meanwhile, Steven's gearing up for Patra 2 with half a heart.
So yeah, Steven's in dire straits here as Patra 3 and BT square off. Patra 3 giving BT a bad pattern here, and he's able to avoid it, but now he's pinned. And Patra 3's going right now!
Oh, gosh. The game knows.
BT says, you know what? No, man, we're going to start this fight over. You're not going to do that to me today. And that was a wise decision. Gets a much better Patra spawn this time around. Oh, Steven, unfortunately, Patra 2 upset over his loss against BT, says no, not twice in a row. And he pauses to reflect on his misfortune as Breastickle takes down Patra. Here we go, folks. This could be it.
16 hits required to take down the pig. Plus a silver arrow. Oh, the late stun lock there by BT. What is this pattern? What is this pattern?
Oh, no! He got the late hug, and I'm not sure if that was exact same thing that we saw Jam Evil have, if you recall that race, Liquid, where he could not find Ganon. It was kind of a similar situation where he got the late stun, and it threw Ganon off, and I think that's what just happened to BT. He couldn't find him.
Yeah, everything was a little different on that Ganon fight. That's not what my eyes just didn't look right. I don't have the precise wheres and whys. Not without that practice run where you get to see Ganon dance across the screen and flail his arms. But one more chance for Steven.
Steven still does have to get to those silver arrows. He does force a bomb. Desperately trying to pick up that pack of bombs, just sitting there, tempting him and tantalizing him. He gets it.
Yeah, I know the temptation is there as he gets another bomb drop. Is to wait until you've used 4 bombs to pick it up, but we saw BT lose out in that situation.
BT also able to force a bomb, and he takes a Wed Wizro beam. Down he goes, and I don't think he got his bombs.
No, he didn't get his bombs, and not only did he not get his bombs, or the fairy that was on the screen, I'm pretty sure he dropped an additional bomb before he died.
He's going to need to force another bomb. Steven down into this last Wizrobe. If he has a fairy count here, he does. And he gets through.
Here's a shot. If he can one-shot the rest of this dungeon, he has earned this victory.
And it is not over yet. Remember, Patra 2 is still alive for both of these runners. Now, of course, Steven, he's going to have to get through Patra 2 regardless. He's got to get the silver arrows. But is Patra 2 going to be a bro this time for BT? Is he going to let him through?
Whew. Coming up on 55 minutes. Not a sight I was expecting to see in the final 8 of this any% tournament.
Oh, and Steven goes for the clip and he gets it. That was clutch.
Mortgaging his future. He'll have to face Patra 2 later, but for now, he is through.
And he gets a good spawn here. He's gonna go for the quick reverse C. I don't know if I like it, but he's going for it. And now he's in trouble.
He's using the bubbles to his advantage, though, for sure.
He forces a bomb, but he takes the blue Wizrobe beam. Down to 2 Wizrobes. Can he clear this room?
It'll be worth it if he can.
If he clears this room, folks, we have a race.
Correction. If he clears this room and gets to the scare...
Oh, no! That is so unfortunate for Steven. He had only a few hits left. And he takes the death. He's got to get all the way back there, and that might have been his last chance. Slipping down the drain, although it's too early to tell. BT to Patra 2.
Yeah, I mean, all the respawning and extra enemies seem to be on the front end of this dungeon, so now that BT has gotten past Patra 2, his path towards Ganon is significantly easier than Steven's, and I was just going to say as a qualifier to everything else is, ooh, what a nasty pattern in this sandbox room.
Oh, he's got to be careful. Wisely takes his time.
Well done there. I was worried. My concern there was that Steven was going to get the silver arrows, and then in that Wizrobe Diamond staircase room, take a bop and have to come back to that room. I feel like that's like the worst possible thing that could happen.
BT gets a great spawn in that unfortunate trap Wizrobe room, and it looks like he's trying for a heart, or maybe setting up a hippo. Like he can. He already has Patra 3 down. So he'll be headed to the pig. This is another chance for BT to close this race out. What has been a very exciting back and forth race.
Yeah. Looks like he was trying to get a heart drop here.
And every heart matters in this Ganon fight. 16 hits with the wooden sword. He's only got 10 arrows left. So it's something he does have to consider. Here we go. Round 2, folks.
I was correct. It is 15 hits with the wood sword and then 1 with the silver arrows.
Yeah, you're correct. I'm sorry.
Let's see how it goes. Do we have a better pattern this time? He's got the stun in the corner, James.
9 hits, 10 hits, 11, 12. And down goes Ganon. What a fight by breastickle.
Watch out for the fire. Whew. And just like that, with the snap of the fingers and 58 minutes and 29 seconds later, we have our official SRL winner of this race, the one and only breastickle.
Wow, what an exciting race. And joining us in the pseudo-commentator's booth is our winner, breastickle. BT, what was going through your head in that 9? Were you nervous at all, or did you have the race up? What? Tell us your thoughts, man. Possible push to talk, perhaps? We'll wait for him to join us. And meanwhile, Steven in the reverse C again. Does have 7 bombs to his name. He's just looking for that good spawn pattern and not really getting it.
Yeah, he dropped a bomb. He had 8, dropped one, and then realized he was going to die if he stayed there because he had a red whiz robe. I'd made it this entire race on that bottom row with him.
Steven back in the middle of the reverse C. A hit from anything here does finish him off. Down to 2 bombs, so he has no bombs for combat if he wants to. Oh, good lord, that was just.
Yeah.
Oh, there was nothing he could do
there. The convoy for him.
Well, props to Steven. He's going to give it another go. He's headed back into 9, down to only 2 bombs left. And as he makes his trek through and we await word from our winner, breastickle, make sure you guys follow both these runners who gave us just an amazing show. This was one of the highlights of this tournament for sure, Liquid. This was amazing.
Oh man, I was tickled to death to get to call this race simply because of the, between the stakes involved in it and the fact that it was a rematch from one of the more exciting races of the Swiss rounds that I got to be a part of. Then, when they skipped that heart, whew, so did mine.
Yeah, as soon as I saw them dodge the heart in 3, I knew something was afoot. And I will resist the temptation to make a bad pun there as Steven heads back into the heart of level 9. And
hello?
Unfortunately, there he is. Hi, you handsome devil.
Hello.
Hey, JSR.
Oh man, congratulations, sir. Talk to us about 9. Did you have the restream up? Were you nervous at all? Like, what was going through your head, man?
What was going through my head mainly was diagonal wizrobe beams.
Really?
Yeah, but oddly enough, I don't think Patra ever harmed me.
Patra 2 tried his best though, man. That was a really scary fight where he just kept circling around that door, and no matter what you did, he just wasn't going to let you through.
So I have the restream up, but like it's behind like 7 windows and it's super delayed. So like I have no idea what's going on. If both of you are just dying at 9, and you look up like, oh crap, he has the silver arrows. I have to finish. But it was just him in the reverse C. So I was like, oh okay. I guess you gotta take my time and tough it out.
You made it into 9 while Steven was still in about the heart of level 7. So it wasn't until, I think, maybe your second death or so that he was starting to make his way through 9. And when you took the Ganon hug, that did open the window just a bit. Steven had a shot if he was able to clear the reverse C and get the silver arrows, and he had maybe 2 sword stabs on the last blue wizrobe and took a death. If he was able to get through that, the only thing that would have been standing in his way that you didn't have in yours would have been the trap wizrobe room and Patra 3.
Dang, yeah. I was just going through my splits right now to see what was possible. So I was on my final throw there, and I saw him in reverse C, and I was like, dang, well, we know it's 2 minutes from silver arrows to Ganon. My best time in a low percent deathless was 3 minutes from the silver arrow to the end of Ganon, and most of that's just the additional times you have to stab Ganon. So, yeah, it was definitely anyone's match at any time. I have such a hard time in 6 and 7, and I want to just think that my performance today in 6 and 7 was average, not poor.
Yeah, 7 was a little tricky for you, but your 6 was very clean. Your 8 was amazing, dude. Deathless. You had clean lagoons. You actually went into 8 after Steven, because Steven did level 2 after 8. You did 2 before it. And so Steven was well into level 8 when you entered, and you passed him. And it was still a pretty close race at that point. Steven was about 2 hits from finishing Gleeok off. And then just, low percent Gleeok. Hey, what a reverse C by 4iSteveN that time.
That was fantastic.
Spoilers, man. Spoilers.
Hey, you're part of the commentary team now. You got to get the restream pulled up. But no, yeah, great room there by Steven. Yeah, level 7 was not your friend tonight. That's certainly where Steven made up most of his time that he was trailing you at that point.
Well, do you know what happened to 7? Did you see what happened to me, like, before I entered 7?
Yeah, you had a little bit of a lever issue, if it appeared.
Keep going back.
Okay, I must have missed this then. I saw you were at low health, and you ended up visiting the fairy fountain, but what caused that, or is that what you're referring to?
I left level 5. I tooted once to the right, once to the left, and it took me to 3.
Interesting.
I wanted to go to 1, get a 30 secret, buy 20, spend 20 rupees on bombs, and I was like, what? So I just went with it, so I had bad spawns in 7, so I had no idea what I was doing.
What do you think might have caused that? Or was it
first frame, I had this simultaneous left toot when I turned back around.
Yeah.
I tooted twice to the right, even though Link was facing left. It happens to me like once every 35 runs. It's like not even uncommon anymore, but it's just a bad time for it to happen. So that's just what happens. You gotta get bad spawns now. Hello, little man candy.
Steven down to 1 bomb, but he does get through the trap room, so he's gotten most of the difficult rooms filled with Wizrobes behind him, except for this one, which we did see make a victim out of you one time, BT. So,
that one was rough. So I don't know. I mean, you can see Steven not doing what I was doing, which is race safe strats, like saving progress in rooms. Because one thing you have to do in low percent is make constant forward progress. You can't lose everything on a room. So if you're having a hard time, just back out, save the dead monsters, and then re-enter when you're ready.
So, was there any sort of gentleman's agreement between you and Steven, like, say, if one of you accidentally picked up a heart container?
So we talked about it. First off, like, I mean, I love 4iSteveN, don't get me wrong. We, like, barely know each other at the same time, so I'm like, is this guy trying to troll me? Am I going to be running low percent, not watch him, and him just go, like, beat the crap out of me? So I think we're both kind of like, well, are we really doing this? But early on in the tournament, he's like, hey, if we ever match up again, we got to do low percent. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. And I didn't want to renege on that, and so he came to me and he was like, okay, well, what do we do if we get a heart? Because that invalidates the category, but the tournament rule is no Up+A, and the only thing you can do in low percent is you Up+A to not get the heart, or you retry to get rid of the heart. And since we couldn't do that, he was like, well, what if every time you have 1 heart, you just kill yourself? And I was like, no. Actually, having 4 hearts is a huge disadvantage in low percent because you don't have beams when you come back to life. So I was like, just run with it. Just try not to pick up that 5th heart, and don't accidentally walk into the white sword.
Steven had the stun lock, and he dies. He had him. He was 1 hit off.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, he was 1 hit from killing the pig, and falls to Ganon.
Oh, man.
Contemplation time.
Yeah, I think he's wondering if he's going to give this 9 another shot here. We'll have to wait and see what his decision is, and I think he just made it as he joins us in the commentator's booth. He's still in the race. Okay, now he's officially forfeit from the race. Steven, if you can hear me, sir, first off, man, GG. What a show you and breastickle put on for us tonight, sir.
Yeah, let's wait for him to restart Discord.
Thanks, man. I tried. He got away from me.
Dude, you had him, dude. You had him in the stun lock. What happened?
I don't know, man. I was playing so well during practice, and then last night I got like a 51. That was pretty good. And then I just lost him. I don't know. That was fun. Thanks, BT.
Hey, great match, Steven. I actually didn't know that we entered 8 in a different order, so I thought we were just together the whole way. I thought we were holding hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I kind of diverged because I wanted more arrows. And I wanted to get arrows 4-8.
That is hands down the correct move, by the way. I don't want anyone who's watching this to think that I did things right. Because getting arrows is correct. It's the J. Coper way. It's the right way, you know?
Speaking of getting arrows, Steven, we were alerted in chat that you may have been such a fan of arrows the first time that you went ahead and did it a second time.
Yeah, I just figured the more the merrier. I don't know.
Well, luckily you had that 100 Seeker waiting there, so it didn't hurt you too much.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did he try to get the red arrows by buying the brown arrows twice?
Yes.
You're blue.
And we were gonna disqualify his low percent standing there, but unfortunately the red arrow did not appear in his inventory.
It would have been overwritten by the silver arrow eventually, so it was okay.
So, Steven, talk about your run. Did you have the restream up at all during the race?
I was listening. Yeah, I didn't have the video pulled up, but I was listening.
So,
what's that?
So.
And oh, I'm sorry, it was my push to talk, not my bad. So despite your level 8 troubles, you were able to catch up a little bit because of some that BT had in 7. He was in the 9 well before you, but you know, level 9 and low percent, it can open doors. And did you feel like maybe you had a shot there, or were you nervous at all? What was going through your mind during level 9, that reverse C room that was just so close?
It wasn't the pattern I wanted, and I tried to do it. I tried just to do it quickly because I knew that the only chance I had was to go as quick as I could. I couldn't re-enter and leave and re-enter and leave like I was doing to get bombs. I had the bombs. I just figured I gotta go for it, and then the wizard went down when I went up. That kind of sucked. And then I died in 8. I feel like I was playing pretty good, but I just died to Gleeok, which is bad because you know, it happens. But that's a hard fight. And BT took off after that. But yeah, that was fun, man. I figured BT would win, and I wanted him to move on because, you know, I don't really, like, from this point forward, my opponent would have to have bad luck for me to win, and I don't want to win like that. I'm just not as fast as the rest of the people in this tournament at this point, and I made it way further than I wanted to, and I had a blast.
This is definitely the way to go out. If 4iSteveN would have won, I still would have had the time of my life, because throwing this low percent out there is great. And we didn't take up too much time, you know, went a little over an hour, and thanks you guys for picking it up and for everything you had to sacrifice to do this fun shenanigan.
Au contraire, sir. This was amazing to watch. This was such a great show, and chat was lit, and this was awesome. And kudos to both of you for having the fortitude to be able to do this in such a high stakes race. And of course, breastickle, you'll be moving on to the next round where you'll be facing off against Kiss My Afro card. Your thoughts going forward?
K-Mac is probably one of the people I've been following the longest and watching for a really long time. And through my Zelda, you know, any percent no Up+A PBs, you know, we were neck and neck for a long time. And it's going to be truly an honor to destroy the living crap out of him.
And it'll be an exciting match for sure. A best of 3. The winner will face the winner of Random Effect and Cantaloupe Me in the bonus bracket finals. And the winner of that, of course, will face the loser of the Lack Attack and Cananophone matchup. Man, this has been an amazing tournament. We're down to the final 6, which does mean the Cinderella story ends tonight. Steven, we do have to say goodbye to you, sir. Your tournament has been one of the most exciting stories to watch. And despite what you think, you made it this far, and you deserved every bit of your journey in this tournament. And I'm very glad you were a part of it, sir.
Yeah, I am too. Thank you very much. My goal was just to make it to the bracket, so I'm really stoked that I made it as far as I did. Had a lot of fun. And BT, thanks again, man. That was fun. That was the way I wanted to go out.
Oh no, dude, it's definitely my pleasure. I gotta know. I'm sure someone else wants to know too out there in chat, but like, why low percent? There's so few of us, and you're obviously really good at Zelda. You have such a great time per attempt. So what got you into low, and why do you stick with it, and how hard is it for you?
I did swordless to learn counting, and then I figured everybody kept saying don't get hit, so I figured I might as well try low percent if I needed to learn how to dodge better. And so I just started doing low percent. Went from 12 hours the first time, not being able to complete it, then finally did it in 3.5. Ended up down to 43, and after quite a few attempts. And it's just, I just have fun with it. It's a lot of fun.
You make it look like a lot of fun, and watching you do low percent makes me just want to keep on doing it. And just thanks for being part of the community, man. You're a great ad.
Oh yeah, thank you too. And you're the first person I saw do low percent, and I was blown away when you went into level 8. I was like, what's he doing? I had no clue what you were doing. It was awesome, man.
Oh man, well thank you. And thanks Mr. Liquid and JSR. And Mr. Fiesel.
I have 2 quick things I wanted to say. First off, BT, congratulations on getting your run into SGDQ, and I look very much forward to watching that, sir.
Oh, well, thank you, sir, and I hope it goes at least this well.
And then, of course, the next question that I'm surprised nobody in chat asked, when is damageless percent, gentlemen?
I think we can head over to Redbird Grad's channel and watch that if we want to, right?
Yeah, let's get a big damageless race put together sometime in the next 15 days here. That'd be great.
Oh, good lord. That race is going to take hours.
The next 15 days, is that the length of the race or the...
First one, then the other.
The first race in Zelda 1 history where every runner forfeits. It'll be awesome. Well, thanks. Actually, I am going to give it a go, if only because I promised Redbird I would. But it'd be cool to see both of you gentlemen run. You guys are 2 of my favorite runners to watch. And best of luck going forward, BT. And Steven, you know I'll be watching, sir. Best of luck to both of you guys. Thanks so much for a great race tonight.
You guys.
And of course, folks, make sure you follow both of them, breastickle and 4iSteveN. And Liquid, we're down to the final 6 in the 2018 tournament, my friend.
It's been an exciting, 7-8 weeks at this point. Been a thrill, and we turn around now. Here we are, Cantaloupe and Random Effect in a best of 3, K-Mac and Breastickle in a best of 3, Lack and Cananophone. Man, 6 tremendous runners. It's only getting better from here. So you're definitely, everyone, you're going to want to stay tuned for this as we continue, both on other channels and also hopefully again here on Speed Gaming, my favorite restream channel for the Zelda Any % No Up+A tournament.
Until Sunday, right?
Until Sunday, and then and then I may or may not be watching WrestleMania, but twitch.tv/JSR_ will be, in fact, my favorite restream channel for the Zelda Any % No Up+A tournament.
Thank you so much, Liquid, for joining me on CodeComs tonight, man. It was a lot of fun to call it with you for sure.
Oh, pleasure was all mine. I've taken way much longer from a break from taking care of the little girl than I probably should. So I'll say thanks so much for having me, and take us out, buddy.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in to Speed Gaming for the Zelda 1 Any % No Up+A tournament. Of course, give the Speed Gaming network of channels a follow for more Zelda 1 action, as well as many other great speed games. For Liquid Husband, my name is James. I go by JSR. Hope you all enjoyed it. We'll catch you on the next one. And until then, folks, so long. Have a great rest of your evening.